So my wife was tired of how high this table is and would like it lowered. That's what we're going to work on today. I did some research to see how this could be done, and I came across this approach, decided to go with it. I'm cutting the pieces for the jig that we'll need for the cuts. And here I'm ripping this piece of plywood down to 5.5 inches. This is going to form the legs of the jig and will establish 5.5 inches as the amount that we're going to cut off the table. Now I'm going to mark out the pieces that we need. We're going to need 2 sides and 1 middle section, all cut out from the same piece of wood so that they are all the same height. Now it's time to put the jig together. I decided to just use clamps and glue because that seemed the easiest way to do it. After finally getting some glue out of this bottle, I used my high-tech glue spreader tool to spread it evenly across both edges. Now this was a bit of the tricky part, gluing it together and making sure all the pieces are even and one isn't higher than the other because that's going to totally mess up the jig. So here I'm being extra careful about making sure that they're even and using very light clamping pressure to hold the jig together. Oh yeah, and if you're going to glue this on your table saw the way I did, you might want to put something between the jig and the table saw because this did get stuck to the tabletop and it took a little bit to get it unstuck. So yeah, lesson learned. And here it is ready to go. I picked up this saw from Amazon. It's a Japanese pull saw. It has a fine tooth edge. That's the side I'm going to be using to make the cut. The idea is to lay the saw flat on top of the jig and let that guide your cut. Take your time, let the saw do the work. One thing I noticed is I didn't film the part where I only cut maybe 80% of the way through the leg and moved on to the next leg until I did all 4. Then I flipped the table on the side and finished all the cuts. Here I'm using this file to cut in a small chamfer to the bottom of the legs. This is to keep the wood from cracking where it contacts the ground. Really, I'm just eyeballing it here. Whatever looked right is what I went with. And here I'm using some 220 grit sandpaper just to take out the file marks and smooth out the chamfer to get it ready for the next step. Here I'm taking the stain marker and I'm just going to stain the edges of the chamfer I just cut. Really just for aesthetics to make sure that you can't really see the part that's in contact with the ground. Not really sure if it's necessary, but I figured why not. And this is what it looks like after it's been colored. The table has been lowered and it doesn't wobble. And now on to the chairs.